Good morning, guys. Lillian with Lily Ray's collection here. Today we are going to go over the A5 planner template that I've created, and I'm going to show you that you can do more than just use this as, individual tabs and tags. You can actually create your own mini journal with this. So this is how I put mine together. These are page sheets, see that? And I use ring binding. It's cheaper this way than doing it with the laminating each sheet. So this is one way of doing it. This is just to show you that you don't need a laminator and the sheets for laminating to go with that. You can just put it into a leaflet book or use these sheets. See that? And you can actually add to it. So there you go. That's the book. Okay, so that's I wanted to show you that. And again, these have been reused, as you can see, but that's fine because this is mine. This is not going anywhere. So let's get into the project. I've cut everything out, and I wanted to show you that in some of the pages you'll have where you can't. I have to keep this pair of scissors here because of the red coloring. The white kind of makes the video a little blurry, so I have to keep something that has some sort of color. Alright, so this is supposed to be a tab that you can a tag with a tab to put into your pocket. This one, however, reached all the way to the end of the page. What I did was, and what I'm demonstrating for you guys so that you don't cut that down, you leave that as is and just ink that edge. So let's go ahead, and I think I'm going to use my other pair of scissors so that I can keep this sitting there. You're just going to cut along the top of the line, and I have to get my glasses. I don't have them on. You cut it that way. Let me see if I could find my glasses. Okay. I want to try and keep these sessions down to 30 minutes because it just takes too much time to kind of cut and splice and do what needs to be done to get the videos out, and it takes longer to upload. So then you're just going to cut around this. Just like that. Then you're going to take your ink and don't be afraid to ink it up. If you don't, excuse me, for those of you who are new to my channel, I have allergies, so I'm always clearing my throat, and I know it's annoying. I do apologize. But word of caution. So here you go. So all you do is ink it just a little bit. The brown, you really don't have to go over, just the top of the line so that the lines aren't white on top. You're edging. And there you have it. Okay, so Let's do one more, and then the rest I will do offline, and then I'll come back because I want to cut out what we're going to be using to make this a one signature journal. And this journal, I have another one. I made a Midori, and I use that to keep my notes. You know, when you get an idea or when you see something that inspires you, you just jot it down, and then you can go ahead and share the wealth, right? So this is the same. This one I didn't do too good of a job cutting that. Let me see. Right there. And then you just go over that white edge. And if you want, you can ink your corners. Okay, and then you have a second one. This is the longer one, and again you see how I'm holding it backwards. This line is white. You do the same thing, so just cutting up here and then around that tab. So let's do the same here, and I'm using Distress Oxide. You can't really see it. Distress Oxide Walnut Stain by Ranger. And I'm using Tim Holtz scissors, the 7-inch and 5-inch. This has a bit of an edge, so I'm gonna cut that down. This is to show you guys that you can think outside the box when you have a template in front of you. I love creating the templates. But there's always more than one thing that you can do with the templates. Okay, so let me just clean up and I will be right back. Alright, I got my big scoreboard out because my other one was too short for this paper. So I'm using the Martha Stewart scoreboard. So here's my idea. I know that you don't have a binding method on here, but if you grab some paper and you fold it in half, of course making sure that the length is as it should be, so that means that we'll probably have to cut off maybe 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch off the bottom. And then I thought, we could do maybe 4 pages per, right? So you're going to be, this one's the first one. And then you put in your tab. And then this is your second one. Again, 4 pages, or as many as you want to divide. You know what, it depends on what you want. And then we have another 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have another tab. And then you still have all of this left over. So I'm just going to randomly select 6 pages. 4, 5, 6. Put my last one back here. And then there are 3 pages left. So I'm going to add 1 more page to this one. So my tab would go right in the center. And then if I add 1 more page to this one, we can put that tab there. Okay, I think this is going to be too thick to cut. Let me see the cover. So we're going to go with this being there, right? Oh, so maybe we don't have to cut the paper. Yeah, no. I want it to fall within, so I'm going to cut the paper. So what I'm going to do is take out my tabs. This one is 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So I'm going to do this signature first. And take this and I'm going to line this up at, I think it's 8.5. You know what? I'm going to do this at 8.25. 8. I hate this ruler because I can't see it. So 8.25 is right. Should really use my big cutting one. I want to make sure this doesn't look too straight. Let me get my big contraption here because this is not working for me. Okay. Alright, now we could see. So now we're going to do this at 8.25. Right there. Okay. So this is the first one. Just take out, doesn't matter. So we have this first signature there. And then this is the second tab. And then you have your third tab. And then here, the fourth. Now that's perfect. Yep. Oh, but you have to remember, okay, you have to remember that you want to sew it in as a signature. So you want to make sure that these tabs don't separate your signature, which I just did. So let me just put those together. I know I'm confusing you guys, but I know what I want to do. I just have to be able to relay that to you guys. Okay, so we cut the signature pages. I do need this one more time because I want to cut my pages even. So here we want I'm lining it up at 5.5. Okay. Oof, looks like that's a lot of paper. Let's try this again. As usual. Always do things the hard way, right? I'm going to leave these inside. Okay. These inside and these on the outside. Alright. That's good enough. You know, you do things the hard way. You gotta do them over, right? So let's see if we can't cut this one straight. Good gosh. Here we go. Okay. Alright, that's good enough. That'll work. Let me take this, I call that my monster wheel. Wheels with an S. Alright, now I need my cutting board. Not for this, but for this. So these pages come together in this kit. And this is the A5 Planner kit. And we're doing something else other than using it for an A5. And this is just to give you options. Okay? So this is a solid spine. What I want to do is I want to get this signature in here. So because I don't have a line in the center, I'm going to use my board to put a line in the center, which is where I'm going to sew my signature into. Right? So that's going to bend like this, and that's where the signature is going to go. Now, this is the other side. I guess I should score everything. That's where the fold is going to go for the tuck. And then that's the gusset for the pocket. And then we do have to trim this like that. And these go in like that. Okay? So now, this one here is going to go like this. Right, so you can, how am I going to do this? I'm going to I actually can just butt it up right there. Do I want to butt it up? If I use 1/4 of an inch for there, it'll look like this outside. Right? But it'll be short in the back. So I have to remove this. I know you ladies are thinking, oh my gosh, what is she doing? It'll come together. So, even though that has to be glued back, what I'm going to do, those are the 2 pages. This is the signature, so we're going to do this like this. Once we have it, it'll be open. Okay, I need my, what do I need? I need this to punch my holes, and I need my clips to hold the pages together. So we're going to do this so that the pages don't move. Let me put one more. Just like that. And let me put let me just use this paper clip right here on an angle just to hold that there, and then another one on this side. And I'm approximating so that this is like almost even from top to bottom. Doesn't have to be exact, but even enough. Okay? Now we know that this already fits that because that's where we cut it from. So I'm going to punch. Let me take this out of the way. I'm going to use my pokey tool by Tim Holtz. It's a dangerous weapon. And I'm not going to use a template because it's just, we're going to eyeball it. So normally I look to punch this about an inch in. Or so. That's one. Then I do about an inch on the bottom. And then from there I try to guess not the center, but about 3/4 in from here, because I want 4 holes. So about there. And then the same thing here. It's a guesstimate. It's good enough. Okay. So now that that's done, I'm going to put my making sure that this is aligned, right? That's going to hold it for you to make sure that it's definitely aligned before you sew it together. That side is done. I'll put it over here. And this side is done. Okay. Now, I'm going to take, what am I going to use? I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use my needle and some crochet thread. I have some of it. I'm going to use pink because I'm going to use some scrap paper that I have to demonstrate. Where is my... This, I don't know what it's called, but it's I guess it's a needle threader. What you do is this has wires right there. And you can either use it like that to put it through your needle, or you can use this one and pull the thread through. So I normally use just a thin wire one. Put my thread through it because I'm as blind as a bat. And then just pull it through and it's done. That is a gem for me personally. So I'm going to take, and you're supposed to do 3, you know, like this to measure it. You do 1, 2, and 3, but I don't bother. I just guesstimate. Okay. So now here, I'm going to start, I'm going to start here. And then I'm going to pinch this one with this so that we don't lose our thread. Okay? That's going to keep it secure for you. You don't have to worry about it. Just don't pull too hard. Then I'm going to go into this bottom one. And for me, there's really no rhyme or reason. I just like to make sure that it's nice and tight. Okay, then I'm going to go to the bottom one. I could see it. Making sure everything is, oh, that this creates its own knot, you know? It makes me crazy. There. Gotta be gentle. Then I put it back through here. And then you know what I just thought? That this is going to be showing, but you know what? It's not. I'm going to show you a trick. And then here, we just tie it. Remember, this is your scrapbook. This is for you to, this is what I use it for, to jot down ideas. Right now I'm using my Midori one, and that's what I use to jot my ideas down, but I figured I would show you a different way of using your A5 template. I want to leave it long because I want to put something in the center there. Okay, so that's that. Let's take this out. And take this out. Okay, so now you have this, right? So in order to cover this, to make it and I want to do this before I put these together here. And also you should cut that little area just around the corners. Right, you always want it to look pretty. So there we have that. What I'm going to do, these are my scraps. This is the collection that I want to use today because I have just scraps, scraps, scraps. And here you have this. This is just one scrap. You can put it right in the center and your problem is solved, right? Or you could use this one. This one actually works perfect. Look at how that works, right? And it's part of the collection. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. I'm going to take maybe a hair off because perfect. See? Okay, now you can ink the edges up or you could leave it. I'm going to ink the edges up. I need a new sponge because it's like, it gets all over the place and it makes me crazy. Okay, so that works right there. But before I put that down, I'm going to put that down with tape. Because this is paper to paper, I don't want this to get all squishy. What did I do? There. So one more thing I want to show you. I bought white duct tape. This tape, as you should already know, is a miracle worker in my eyes. You know, tape gets expensive, so you have to work with what fits in your budget. Now, as you can see, I haven't used it. So we could see that that is a lot thicker. So I'm going to oh good gosh, let's use this. Just trying to take the tape off to get it started. And the only reason I'm going to use this is to reinforce the string, the twine that's there, so that it doesn't come off. Okay, so this doesn't have to be exact. You're not going to see it. This is just, oh, let me hang that there. See if I'm going to be able to cut this. So I'm going to try and get this right in the center. Whoop. Some people just pull it. I don't think I'm as daring to cut it in half. Okay, just take your time. Joanne sells this tape. You could get it cheap if you could find it at the dollar store. Okay, so here, look at that. I think that's exact. Or is it bigger than this? Let me just do it like this. And that is going to reinforce your spine. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it down on the bottom. And that should work. And it's white, so it's not going to stand out. Okay? And if this piece is too short for this, let's see. You could see it a little bit there. If you are more comfortable or that makes you crazy, you can just use, see, that one works perfectly. I'm going to go with the white because it is my book. So now that I have that tape down, it won't warp my my paper. So I'm going to use glue to put this down instead of tape. I try to save on tape whenever I can because it becomes very expensive. There are things that you just can't compromise on when you use tape, when it needs tape. Sorry, this is taking a year and a day. Let me go ahead and get this down and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've added my glue. And I'm going to put this down. Okay, so far so good. So now we have to let that dry. I'm going to turn it around, and now I'm going to take and I'm going to put tape on this side. I'm going to use the scrapbook.com tape, which is excellent, while that backing dries. So I'm just going to put a 1/4 inch because I want to have, I want to give the book enough, I guess, gusset, so that when you fill it up, it doesn't become like an alligator. That's all we're going to do on there. And then on this side. Right on that edge. Okay. And then we can just cut that. Alright, so let's burnish that. Alright, so now we have, this is what we're going to use as a cover. So this is going to go like this. And you're going to use that tape as a guideline. Okay? So I want my corners to be rounded. So I'm going to round my corners now before I put it down. And if you're going to ink it, you should ink it now. I'm going to go ahead and ink mine now. And it doesn't matter which end is up because it should be all the same. I'm going to take this tape out, if I can grab it. And then this is going to be, don't put it flat, just put it upward. Use your fingers to guide you. Whoop. Making sure that it's even both top and bottom. And maybe I could do it like this. I can't see too well here. Maybe like that. Okay. Okay, then we're going to come back, put this on the scoreboard, and I'm going to score it there. I'm going to turn this around this way, because I'm right-handed. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one. I'm going to round my corners as much as I can. Okay? And then we're going to do the same. This is going to go like that. Now remember to look on this side, making sure that it's even. Okay? So this bottom should be even with that. You just have to take your time with it. Oh, I didn't ink it. Let me ink it. I mean, not that it matters because those round areas are going to be on the inside, but you still have to get your edges. Okay. Let's do this again, same way. Don't press it down, just guide it. Using your tape as the guide. Oh, there. All right. And now I'm going to take my scoreboard and use this one because it's thinner. And then I'm going to take and line this up. You see this line down here? I'm going to line it up there. Go slow. This is just so that you're able to fold your book exactly on that line there. Okay? And turn it. And do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So now I'm going to take and gently just I think we need more glue there. It's not dry yet, but we're going to go ahead and bend it there. That's where we did our fold, our line, using the scoreboard, right? And then the same thing on this side. Did I? Oh, it's inside here. That needs more glue there. All right, let me just fold it here. Okay. So now you have your book. You can use this to serve as a pocket. See? That's even. Or you could use it to wrap it, but remember you have your tabs, so leave this for last if in fact you want to use it for your tab, because then you can just score here and make it an inch thick so that it bends over as a closure. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paper clip this here, and we're going to stop right here because it's been a little over 30 minutes. And I will see you in the next session. We're going to have a couple of sessions with this because, as you can see, the cover took some thought, and I did it all on, on camera. I didn't try this out before. So we're working with what we have as an A5 planner template. Okay? So I'll see you next time.